Hi, good evening, and welcome to Open House for Algebra 2. I'm Mr. Shesman. My email address is shesmana@flbapps.net. And what I want to do today is just do a brief overview of what we're going to be learning this year in Algebra 2, what the goals of the class are, how we grade, etc. So let's get started by what are we going to learn. So this year, the major topics that we have are listed here kind of on the left of the screen. And the things that are listed in blue, I put because they're all topics that'll be on the Keystone. As of me recording this video, the Keystone is still intending to happen this year, and I believe that we probably will be taking it. So as such, it's really important that we continue to prepare for that Keystone. And your students are in great shape for that. One of the benefits of the way that we do things here at Fort LaBeouf is that we take the Keystone at the end of Algebra 2, which means that your son or daughter has had a chance to learn algebra twice, Algebra 1 and in Algebra 2 before they take that Keystone. So these topics are things that they should be comfortable with, familiar with, and know at a really deep level. So the things in blue, equations and inequalities, polynomials, linear equations, and probability, those big topics might show up on the Keystone. Now these things that are in black, quadratic equations, radical functions, rational functions, polynomial functions, these four things are Algebra 2 ideas and concepts that won't be on the Keystone. They're things that we're starting to build foundations for pre-calc, maybe for geometry, for upper level math. So these topics will be very helpful for the future. They'll also really challenge us to learn and think in different ways, even if they won't be on the Keystone. Now, in my math class, uh, at the front of the room, it's the first thing I put up every year, are the four approaches to math problems that we're going to use this year. Whenever we start a new topic, whether we're starting linear equations or quadratic equations, on the first day, you can bet that we're going to look at problems that are presented given a table, given a graph, presented with an equation, or verbal. And what I want students to see is that these four approaches to math all intertwine. So this equation matches up with this table, which goes with this graph, which can be described using these words. And that's what I want us to do. Is I want us to start to see the connections in math, to see how if I have an equation that maybe I need to present it in a visual way. So I'm going to use a graph. Or, oh, maybe I was given a graph, but how do I explain or describe that graph to somebody else? That's where the in words comes in play. And so we're going to use these four approaches to math in every single unit that we do this year. We're going to look at all four of those and see how they connect to each other. In fact, I think that math is absolutely beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. And the reason why it's wonderful is because these four things connect together. Math is not just equations. In fact, the equation is just used to help us describe the patterns that we see occurring around us. And being able to describe that pattern in words is really useful. Being able to present that pattern in a table can be helpful to get a better picture of what we're looking at. So that's why we're going to use those four approaches every single unit, virtually every topic that we look at. Now, that's what we're learning. Now, how do I know that your child has learned it? And that's where the grading comes into play. All Algebra 2 teachers at Fort LaBeouf High School follow the same weighted grades categories. We have tests, classwork, and homework. Tests are the biggest chunk of the grade. Over half of your students' grade is going to come from tests. Now, because it's such a big part of the grade, we're going to prepare for tests because they matter. So I'm going to give a review day the day before the test where we're going to do stuff together, not learn anything new, but practice the things that we've done. Maybe play a review game. I'm going to give a test review sheet so that you can practice for the test. And the beautiful thing about these test review sheets, I post the answers to them to Google Classroom. Not to the test, but to the test review sheet on Google Classroom. That means your child can do it at home and then check their answers at home before they come in. That's really helpful. If they made a mistake, they can fix it at home, not 30 seconds before they're taking the test. Or maybe they did it and they realized, like, oh my gosh, I missed a couple of things. I need some help. That lets them know that they can seek help from me, maybe in the morning. Maybe they know they need to come in and before that our fourth period starts, that they're ready to just get going and say, I got a question for you. The next category, in-class work, checkpoints, projects, etc., 30% of the grade. It's 30% of the grade. That's going to be maybe a practice worksheet. Maybe we do a Kahoot, a quiz, a regular quiz, projects. It could be a warm-up. It could be an exit ticket, 30% of the grade. And then the final thing is homework. I know homework is every student's least favorite category, least favorite thing to talk about. I'll give homework 3 or 4 days a week. Sometimes it might be 5. We're a Keystone class. We got to have homework. But my goal with homework is not to give something that takes hours. I'm looking for an assignment that's between 5 and 15 minutes. The goal or the purpose of the homework is to reinforce what we learned in school, to try something on our own independently without me right there for help. That lets us know what we need more practice on. I believe that if your child does their homework regularly, that they're going to be more successful on the test because they're not seeing the problems for the first time by themselves. I check homework generally for completion and effort. And if students can't turn it in, if they don't get it done, they can turn it in the next class for partial credit. I do not accept homework late after the unit has ended, though. Once we've taken the test, the homework for that is kind of not, I don't want to say useless, but it's not something that is helpful for you as much anymore because we've already taken the test. So make sure it's turned in before the test so I can get partial credit. Some other big things, the textbook. Many of the students elected to just use the online textbook. The information for that was in the syllabus, which is also linked on our Google Classroom page. The other thing that will be posted to Google Classroom daily, all the notes that I do on the active board go up online at the end of the day. So if your child either A, lost their note sheet, or B, missed class, if you go online, if you have them check out Google Classroom, they can see the notes that we did that day posted. And occasionally for some new topics, I post videos that I make as well to walk them through how to do it. So if you miss a day, check out Google Classroom. It's a great resource. Two big ideas here before I wrap up. The first is attendance. Being in school and being in class is paramount to success. I understand that, especially this year of all years, things will come up that keep students at home. And when that happens, that's okay. You can still be in attendance even from home. And how do you do that? By making sure that you do the makeup work. If your son or daughter misses my class, make sure that they copy the notes from online, from Google Classroom. Make sure that they do the homework that was assigned when they were absent, doing the classwork. They can still get the complete learning experience as long as they make the effort to do all that makeup work. If you miss for an extended period of time for any reason, be in contact with me so that I can help out even more, provide extra resources for learning. And finally, the big theme for my class. Yes, I want your child to learn how to do math. I want them to be able to be great Algebra 2 students. But I recognize that maybe some of the topics we learn this year are not going to help them in their future job. And that's okay. That's why the theme of our class is to learn how to improve our thinking process. In doing math, can we learn to become more logical, better thinkers? Can we learn how to do something using multiple approaches? Can we explain, verbalize our answers to somebody else? Can we start to build new pathways of how to think through a process? Can we identify which of our strategies is going to work best? All of those things that I just said, those are skills that extend beyond math, that extend beyond algebra into all areas of life. And so we're going to learn math, but we're using it to learn how to become better thinkers. And if we are successful in that, then I'll consider it a really good year. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me via email or, of course, schedule a parent-teacher conference. They're virtual this year, and they're going to be in November. Otherwise, again, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure to teach your child in class.